Hey, I want to welcome everybody to Steelers Pre-Snap. I'm Luther Dupree. Got my partners, Claudio Rosano, Smokin Jim Frazier. Hey, make sure you give us a call, give us a look. But we were going to just recap the last game, the first loss of the season. My first loss of the season. Steelers lose to the Washington Redskins. Claudio, what are your thoughts on it? We'll let you go first because you called it, I think.
Before I go on about the game, I have to wish two special people in my life a very happy birthday. Brian Kaplan in Las Vegas. Brian, I know you're watching. Happy birthday, brother. And Luther Dupree Jr. Happy birthday, brother.
Appreciate
Hope you had a
it.
great day, great year, both of you guys. All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, I did say last week, I've been saying every week, somebody's going to say, Claudio's like a broken record. Yeah, because the Steelers aren't doing what I'm saying to do. You get a team down, put your foot down on them, stomp them, kill them, get them out. They didn't do that. They were up 14-3, didn't do it. They got bit. I said last week, watch out for McKisson, the running back from Washington. He caught 10 passes. The Steelers have a hole with backs catching balls out of the backfield. And again, I think 14 carries for 21 yards. 14 carries for 21 yards is an embarrassment. And in order to have a running game, you have to commit to it a little bit. You just can't do one run here, then 6 passes, 7, 8, 9 passes in another run. There's no rhythm. There's no consistency, no anything. And I've been saying all year, and everybody's saying it now, they have to develop the run game. And something Smokin Jim says, and whether people are going to like it or not, two things. He said average defense at best, especially now with all the injuries, and Washington exposed him a little bit. Alex Smith had 296 yards. And the other thing is excuses. There's reasons for things. There's excuses. We had to play on a Wednesday. We had to move the game. So did Washington. I mean, last week with Baltimore. You just have to go out and play. You're professionals. The Steelers are better than this. I think the focus isn't there. I think that they have not put their foot down. Like I said, when they have somebody down, they let Washington back in the game. You have to get rid of their confidence quick. They didn't do it. They lost.
All right. I disagree. I think, yes, they had them down, but injuries at a certain point have to take effect. They have 7 guys out today. They had 6 last week. And the fact that the NFL made them play 3 games in 12 days is unprecedented. That should have never happened. Yes, some of the play calling was not right. They had a lot of guys in on defense because of the injuries. The drop passes was a factor as well. That's something they have to get at. And I like what Mike Tomlin said. If you're not going to catch the ball, we'll get somebody else in there that will.
But is he going to get anybody else?
Dropping passes left and right. Deontay Johnson is dropping passes left and right. That can't happen. I look for James Washington to get more looks and get more time. His completion percentage is a lot higher than those other guys. When he gets it, he makes plays. He needs to get the ball more. I'm looking at Ben. I'm looking at the offensive coordinator. He needs to get the ball. Chase, Claypool, both of those guys had 4 targets last game. That's unacceptable. Deontay Johnson had 10. Eric Ebron had 12. And those 2 were the main guys dropping balls. Unacceptable. It got to change. But Smokin Jim, I want to get your thoughts on the game.
Hey, Lou. First of all, Claudio beat me to the punch, man. I want to wish you another happy birthday. I know you celebrate June 12th as your birthday as well. But the governor of the state of Pennsylvania shut down Pennsylvania for your birthday because he knows how you and your friends get down, man, and tear up the city. But hey, man, what we learned, Luther, was that the Steelers are no longer undefeated because Larry Zonka popped the champagne. Hey, listen, we also learned that Big Ben is not the comeback player of the year. Alex Smith heard that.
Come on.
What we also learned that the Steelers drop a lot of passes. Deion Johnson leads the NFL in drop passes. Now the Pittsburgh Steelers as a team lead the league in drop passes. Who's the Steelers receiver coach? Dwight the Hands of Stone? Listen, I haven't seen this many drop passes since Lima Swede and Sammy Coates was there. What we learned, Luther, is that the Pittsburgh Steelers cannot run the football. Now we know they can't pass the football as well.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, We do have a comment I want to pull up real quick. All right, Frank Jackson, Claudio's too hard on Tomlin. Injuries have killed the Steelers. I definitely agree. Claudio gets on him all the time. Injuries.
No, I just don't know what he look.
Claudio,
I don't know what he does.
Constantly.
He's going to have to rein the troops in. He's going to have to say again. I know we're jumping ahead,
and you're still on. They're 11-1. They had a bad game. They should have won that game. They could have won that game. Injuries. They're playing
it's like a boxer. It's like a boxer who fights guys. It's like a boxer who fights a bad bunch of fighters. 20. No, he fights somebody.
A boxer can pick and choose who he fights. In the NFL, you have a schedule at the beginning of the year. Whoever's on your schedule is who you play.
I understand that.
So I understand that. Choosing,
and yes, they beat them. And as a coach, you say, "Hey, beat them without question." All I'm saying is, as far as Tom is concerned, I would not. You cannot let Ben just run the whole offense. He's got to say, "Look, we obviously need to establish a running game. We have a ton of weapons. Let's use those weapons. And yes, we want you to pass. Okay, but go deep a bit." What's that?
I agree with you, but all the weapons are receivers. The running backs at this point are not considered a weapon. They're a liability.
But they had a nice running game at the beginning of the season. And another thing, when you have the weapons, that's okay. But when you have the weapons that you have on wide receiver wise and Ebron, which you don't need 120 yards to run the ball. Maybe get 80 to be successful. You don't need a great running game. You don't need, like I said, you don't need 120 yards. Baltimore needs 125, 130, 140 yards to win a game. The Steelers need 75, 80 yards so the defense doesn't pin their ears back and just go after Ben or that short pass. That's all I'm saying.
I feel you. All right, we got my man Lou Calloway just peeking in saying, "What's up, guys?"
What's up,
he was under the weather. Got a real bad cold, trying to heal up. All right, prayers your way, Luke. Definitely, and we got to get your son back on the show, man. They won the state championship. We definitely got to get some Jeanette players and your son on the show to talk about that. We haven't had a state champion on the show in about 4 years. So get well, Lou. I know you're down. I know your Ravens are down. So it's just all bad right now. But I hope you get better. I don't really care about the Ravens, but at least you get better so you can come back and take these L's like you took last month. All right, so let's go. Let's look at our Steelers D versus the Bills offense. Bills offense was clicking on all cylinders the other day. What are your thoughts, Smokin Jim? We'll start with you.
About the say that again. I'm sorry, Lou.
Our defense versus the Buffalo Bills offense.
Oh, okay. Our defense is hey, listen. Bud Dupree's absence last week was really evident. You know what I mean?
As I said.
As you said, and hopefully it'll turn around. It could be corrected. Highsmith is an outstanding pass rusher. For some reason, he was getting off the ball real slow. He was rushing the quarterback good, but he was hesitating. I don't know if he should be looking inside and see when the ball snapped and getting off there. Of course, Cam Hayward was useless again. $17 million waste of money. But hey, listen, the Bills got a great offense. Even Measly Beasley is going to give them problems. You got Josh Allen at 6'5", 240, best quarterback since Jim Kelly down there. And don't forget Stephon Diggs. Something magical about him. Listen, they got a little 5'5" running back Singletary that looked like Kevin Hart and cleats. But this guy can really run. He can give you trouble out of the backfield. So, hey, I got to give the edge to the Buffalo Bills offense because they can pass the football. The Pittsburgh Steelers can't defend the pass. And I tell you what, it's going to be problems out there. If Buffalo don't turn the ball over, it could get real ugly.
All right, real quick, let's jump into this. Lee also says Steeler coaches are concerned Ben keeps changing the running plays that are called the pass plays. That's been the word for a while, that Ben is changing all these running plays to get more passing stats. He's always liked to throw the ball, and they think he may have too much power. I've heard that a lot of times, Lee. That's a good point. Is how much he's been changing these plays from running to passing. So that's something they have to get under control. I know you want your quarterback to have that ultimate control, Hall of Fame quarterback, but I think, like you, he's taking advantage of it, Lee, for sure. So, and Ben needs to needs 2 Dan Marino knee braces. Okay. All right, Claudio, you want to weigh in on this? How our defense is
Yeah,
going to stack
and
against
I'm going to ask you guys a question. I'm going to ask you guys a question. If Lewis is still on, because of the injuries of Steeler defense, do you think it's a good idea, number one, to maybe change the scheme a little bit, maybe change the look a little bit? Okay, because you don't have your horses out there. That's question number one to Smokin Jim, Luther, and Lewis. Number two, if you think about it, the Steelers have been burned a little bit by Alex Smith, who's coming off a big injury, Gilbert from the Cowboys, Driscoll from Denver. They haven't exactly faced the greatest quarterbacks all the time. Those guys did pretty good against the defense, right? Now, it isn't like they faced Jimmy G and Vince Ferragamo and Dan Pastorini, right? So my point is, with Josh Allen, what's Josh Allen going to do against them? With Beasley, and I'd say another guy. You mentioned Diggs, but they have another guy. That rookie Gabriel's been coming on, and then Singletary has been running the ball pretty good, but he's going to be out of the backfield. He's been catching more of the ball out of the backfield lately. So I think the Steelers are going to have a tough time against an up-and-coming quarterback like Allen and the weapons that the Buffalo has. But back to my question, Lewis, who coaches, Smokin Jim, who scouts, Luther, you know what you're talking about as well. When you don't have the when you have the injuries that the Steelers defense has, I don't know if you can play the same type of defense. You're going to have to maybe take a few more chances, maybe change the scheme. And to help the defense out, what I would do is tell the offense, hey, we need to keep the defense off the field more. Okay. The Steelers defense of the 70s obviously had numerous Hall of Famers, obviously. But another thing that helped them was 2 guys in the backfield named Harris and Blyer, who killed the clock. Okay. And that kept them off the field. So I think a good thing for the Steelers defense would be to change the scheme, attack, change the scheme, and run the ball more. Okay. The Steelers defense in the 70s.
All right. Jim, you want to weigh in first?
Yeah. First of all, in order to do that, you got to bring Dick LeBeau back. Listen, Mike Tomlin comes from the Tampa 2 defense. The Steelers don't run that. They're still running Dick LeBeau's zone blitz defense. Look at Keith Butler, that country bumpkin. He doesn't even know what day it is half the time. All he was a career linebacker, coach. You want him to change something? Listen, only thing the Pittsburgh Steelers can do with this particular coaching staff, who nobody is being considered a head coach or a coordinator anywhere else. This is the worst staff ever. The only thing they can do is send everybody in the kitchen sink. That's all they can do. All they can do is run with Dick LeBeau brought here years ago. It's never going to change. It's always going to be the same. They can't think outside of the box. And I agree with you, Claudio. Nothing will change this week. They're predictable.
You know what? Yes, they are predictable. The defense has stayed pretty consistent. And you know what? They're about to break the all-time record with 70 sacks in a row. Hasn't been done before. They're about to break Tampa Bay's record. So no, they're not going to change. The only thing that's happening is they're playing with 2 third-string middle linebackers. They have a replacement plan for Joe Hayden, who got knocked out last week with a concussion. So they'll be playing with Sutton Moore, and also Justin Lane will be playing cornerback as well. So that's going to be a struggle. I don't think they're going to be able to stop the Bills' offense because of injuries. At some point, these injuries come up. They have 7 guys. Vince Williams is out because of COVID. So yeah, the Bills will be able to put up some numbers. Watt hopefully can put some pressure on. And Jim, I'm glad you admitted you were wrong last week. You said they wouldn't miss Bud Dupree. They missed him immediately against Washington. They win that game if Bud is playing. Highsmith is a solid player, but he's a rookie. It's going to take him at least a year to get ready to make an impact. So that's a big loss. Bud Dupree is the reason they lost that game. They had no pressure coming from the other side. It was Watt. Tuitt got a little pressure, but nobody else was coming from the other side. That's going to be a huge loss. And Jared Allen is going to have a field day. Stephon Diggs against Justin Lane or Sutton, they're not going to be able to watch him. Maybe they will have Nelson follow him around the field, but I doubt they do that. It's going to be a struggle. This game is going to have to be on the Steelers' offense because Buffalo cannot stop the run. So if there's any time to get the running
Right.
game going,
Right.
it's today. Buffalo struggles. Get Watt in there. Run the ball. You can't have Ben throwing 50 times.
Exactly.
Him off of elbow surgery. It has to stop. I believe a lot of it has been changing the play calls, trying to put up these numbers so he can throw for another 5,000 yards. He has
Hey,
to stop. His arm is
hey,
going to fall out. Good,
hey
Jim.
Luther,
Yes.
answer me this. First of all, name me one cornerback the Pittsburgh drafted since Ike Taylor, and I drafted Ike. And so the reason they are having problems in their secondary is because they can't draft. Congratulations, Kevin Colbert, being the vice president when you haven't earned it. Everything. Let's talk about things they're going to do. They're not going to use Derek Watt. They only brought him in there to keep TJ happy. He only played 3 plays. They can't run the football. They got a soft and cheesy offensive line. They have no offensive line coach. I've been saying that for a long time. Rush Grimm, Mike Munchak were great offensive line coaches. They could make adjustments. If I was a brand new offensive line coach and I was Mike Munchak's coffee boy, every day for practice, before practice, and after practice, the offensive line would be hitting the sled. Their pad level is not there. Their point of attack is not there. And you're running Benny slow as a snail, and that's your option. Jalen Samuel showed me something. If they want to do something this week, play Jalen Samuel. He looked like he got his confidence back.
I like that. I definitely think Samuel should have been playing more throughout the year. Last year he was their wildcat quarterback. He was doing some everything. This year he couldn't get on the field. I know he got hit with COVID earlier, had some injury issues as well, but it's time to get him going. I definitely like to see him going. And another thing, the offensive line, Matt Filler has been struggling. I'd like to see Dotson get back in there.
Yep.
Did a great job
question.
when he fielded for David DeCastro. Can we get Dotson in there? Matt Filler is not getting it done. Dotson is a very good run blocker. If you look at the games where he played, the run game, it hasn't been good all year, but it was better when Dotson was in there. We got to get him back in the game. And you all mentioned one thing. I hated the offensive play call. You're at the goal line, and you're throwing it to Gerald Hawkins. This guy just came back off COVID. If you're going to throw it to an offensive lineman, how about throwing it to a guy like Villanueva, who actually played receiver in the past? This guy took 3 steps and was falling. It was a horrible play call. I don't know what they're doing. They have to definitely get it together. But real quick, I want to get this from Jason Hall. Definitely a good matchup. 2 top AFC teams going at it. It'll come down to mistakes. Injuries are going to open holes in the Steelers' defense. That's a fact. The Steelers aren't committed to the running game, to running the ball, guys. That probably won't change this season. Unfortunately, I think he's right. Definitely good points by Jason Hall. Appreciate that. You fellas, let's switch. I know we kind of got into it. What about our offense versus this Bills defense? Jim, I'll let you start off with this one, man.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is still phenomenal. Hey, listen, they're going to drop passes. I love James Washington. He's not a guy that's working on his dance moves on Twitter, on TikTok. This is a guy that got his college degree. He's a farmer. He's a farm boy. He catches everything in his area code. I would start him. Chase Claypool. The only thing hurting Chase Claypool is they're not throwing to him. He's either going to catch the football. He made a couple great catches, or he's going to get a pass interference call. They need to go to him more. Listen, on 3rd or 4th down, you never go to Deontay Johnson. He's a playmaker. He can make you miss. Now, if you want to throw short of the 1st down and have him make somebody miss, I would do that on 3rd down. But in terms of throwing him the football, the guy's going to drop. A lot of great receivers drop. My favorite receiver of all time for the Steelers was Roy Jefferson, and he used to drop some easy ones. But then again, there's some years he averaged 24 yards a catch. So, you know what I mean? He stretched the field. But, hey, listen, you got Juju, 4 yards a catch. Come on, get him out of there. You're forcing the ball to Juju. If he's only averaging 4 yards a catch last game, he wasn't open. Other people were open. Listen, the 85, Ebron, listen, losers mentality. I'm glad we lost. I'm glad we got beat. I'm glad the pressure. Quit getting these guys with a loser mentality on your team. I wanted to go with McDonald a little bit more, but this man ain't shaved in 2 years. He looked like he just came out of a cave. Beard, come on, man. Be professional. I like the New York Yankees. I turn the Steelers into the New York Yankees. Cut all them braids off and all them twisties and cut all that long beard off and get it going. But hey, listen, you can't throw. Listen, you can run on the Buffalo Bills and you can chuck and duck, which the Pittsburgh Steelers love to do on the Bills. But their secondary is outstanding. If any tip balls is going to be intercepted and maybe returned all the way, listen, it's going to be a tough football game. It's going to be an exciting football game. You can put up points on Buffalo, but Buffalo going to put up points on you. It should be a fun game to watch.
All right. Claudia, your thoughts on this?
Lee McGinnis hit it right about throwing some screens to the running backs and the tight ends. Luther, you said this a few times, getting McFarland out in the open, throwing to him. Again, the Steelers don't need 120, 30, 40, 50 yards running game. They need 80. 85 is the key, in my opinion, for them to do well and have a good shot to win. Now, the Buffalo defense is not a great defense, and you can run on them, as you said, Luther, and this is the type of game that you want to get Connors going. And McFarland, I'm still not giving up on McFarland. Snell, I'm with Jim on him anymore. I think Matt Snell, his uncle, would have been better, but from the Jets. But what I do say is this: Buffalo defense, 9 turnovers in 4 games. If that doesn't say, that's the recipe for a running game. They're weak against the run, okay? Connors should be fresh. Give McFarland a shot, and they've been very opportunistic defense. They've had 9 turnovers in 4 games. Now's the time to run against them. Pick your spots, and it should be like I said. It should be like a video game. Yeah, I keep saying it over and over. You have all these weapons. Use them all, but use them properly. Use Claypool going deep. Open things up so you can run the ball more. They know that you're going to throw those 2-yard patterns, like Jim said with Juju. 4 yards a catch for a wide receiver. That's ridiculous. Okay. Open it up, throw deep, get those guys off the line of scrimmage, then you can run the ball more. There's so many things they can do. I mean, what drives me nuts about NFL coaches, even Jim and I watched the USC UCLA game yesterday. We commented on some play calling, and Luther, you did as well. These guys brag, I'm in the office for 17 hours a day, and you come up with 4th and 1 and you pass the ball or throw it to an offensive lineman. You spend all that time doing that. It's ridiculous. But the Steelers, there is a formula. Yes, throw deep, and like Lee said, throw some screens. Okay, and something that Coach Callaway said: mistakes win games. Don't make mistakes. Run the ball. Buffalo can't stop the run. Throw deep, open things up, mix it up, balance, and you'll win. All they need is 80, 85 yards to win the game. That's my opinion on that. And I think the Steelers can do those things. And you got to keep Buffalo offense off the field because Allen's going to have a big game. He's got his own weapons.
Okay. Let's get some of these comments. Frank Jackson back in here. Ben is the problem. He wants to throw for 6,000 yards. All right.
Or 6,000 times. All
right, Lee, no balance, no wins.
Right.
Ben was always the problem. Wow, a lot of people on Ben. Ben deep ball is trash. His arm is shot. Okay. Control the clock from Luke Callaway.
Right.
Win without a running game. Control the game. All right, listen, my thoughts on this. I was real disappointed in the game last week against Washington. They had John Bostic out there. Why we weren't sending our running back out? He cannot cover a running back. And then when we do, we throw it 4th and 20 to McFarland 20 yards down the field. All they needed was little swing passes. That man is too slow. He couldn't, and he had the game of his life. And like you said, teams are on to it. Chase Young, who's going to be a beast in this league, said Baltimore showed us the game plan. You know, they throw those quick passes. All you have to do is get your hands up. And why they kept throwing at Sweet over there, that was insane. We saw him in the Thanksgiving game snatch a ball out of the air, running into the end zone, and they kept throwing it over there. And all he did was keep swatting those balls like he was J.J. Watt. Definitely have to get a better game plan. I don't know how much it is, Ben, that's changing the play calls, but I'd like to see Watt get in there more, run the ball just a little more, keep the defense honest. You know, a lot of times they don't even have a running back in the backfield. They send a running back, and it's 5 receivers in a pattern. They definitely need to change it up. Teams have figured out what they're doing. I think they can get their running game going a little better. 70, 75 yards, I think is good. And where has Chase Claypool been the last couple weeks? 4 targets here, 4 targets there. I don't think it's enough. I know the defense is paying more attention to him, but you have to find a way to get this guy the ball. He was on a monster pace early in the season. Now he's lost from the offense. James Washington, every time he's in there, he does something. We got to get on the ball more than 4 times. No creativity. And then when you do get creative, you throw it to the most unathletic offensive lineman on the team. Unacceptable. Fickner has to do a better job, and Ben got to stop changing plays at the line of scrimmage from a run to a pass. You have to run more than for 21 yards, or you're not going to win, especially with winter and playoff football coming up. But let's get some more of these, and then we'll get to Claudio's huddle in 1 minute. All right, 5 wide and can't score. All right, Lee, Tomlin needs to step up. Ben Armstrong, Tunnel, Roethlisberger. All right, Lee. Lee's just going off. Let's go to the section that everybody's talking about. Let's get Claudio in on this. What's your Claudio's huddle up?
When Luther sends texts, one of his common phrases is facts in capital letters. Facts. I'm going to give you facts. Right now, Cleveland is on the up. Indianapolis is always dangerous, okay? And Buffalo is on the up. And you have to say Steelers are kind of on the downward tail. Those are facts. Okay, they have to turn it up, as I always say. They have to turn it up. Who turns it up? It all starts at the top. Tomlin, he said, if you're dropping passes, we're going to get somebody to replace you. You can't draw the line in pencil. You have to draw it in Sharpie, okay? You have to let these guys know, hey, this is the way it's going to be. Ben, you're a great quarterback. You're still going to have a great season. You're still going to get your throws in. You're still going to make Pro Bowl. You're in the Hall of Fame. You got two championships, and you have a shot for a third. And they still do have a hell of a shot for a third. But this is what we have to do. This is the game plan. We're not going to say, no, you can't change the plays, but not every single damn time is it pass. And this is going to make you more effective. If you run the ball and you listen to us, you're going to get more notoriety. You're going to get more awards. You're going to get the comeback player of the year. You're going to get another championship ring. But you just can't throw it all the time. Tomlin has to get Fichtner and Matt Canada and Roethlisberger. Everybody's saying Canada. I guess he's got some input, I guess. I don't know. Get him in the room. Say, this is the way it's going to be. I'm the coach. I'm the fish. Remember I always say all the time, the Italians say the fish sticks from the head. It starts at the top. If it's good at the top, it'll trickle down. If it's bad at the top, it'll trickle down. He's got to tell them, this is the way I want it. I don't give a damn who you are, Ben. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care Hall of Fame, Super Bowl, nothing. This is the way we're going to do it. If we sink, I'll take the blow. I'll say, you know what? It was my call. Get rid of me. Do what you want. But I said this is the way to do it. He's going to have to do that. Has he done it? I don't know. I'm not in the locker rooms. I'm not in the office. But this is what he should do. This is what I would do. That's what I would do. Now, having said that, I said this to Jim the other day. If I call 1,000% of our offensive calls in baseball, steals, bunts, hit and runs, so on and so forth. If one of my base runners steals the base without me giving him the green light or the steal sign, and he's successful, I say, good job, brother. Good job. Now, if he gets thrown out, he's going to have to deal with me. Okay.
Right,
now,
right.
Roethlisberger, every single call, pass, 2-yard pass, like Jim said, 4 yards for Juju. It ain't working anymore. Right. Defense got their ears pinned back. Everybody's playing up. It's not working. Tomlin, I'm not blaming him for everything. I'm not hard on Tomlin. I'm doing what Luther says. Facts.
All right, Claudio. I like that. All right. Mine is going to be real simple and sweet. One thing that I want to talk about is the defense. The defense has been hit with injuries, but I still think they have enough to actually do some things. I want to pull up. Hopefully this comes up real nice and clear. It's not that one that I want to use. All right. Listen, the Steelers defense has been holding the team up. I understand early in the year they were putting up 30 points a game, but with the injuries, I think this has to be Ben showing out. They have to dominate the ball. I don't know how Avery Williams from the Jets is going to be. I don't even know if he really knows the playbook as well as he could. He just got there a couple weeks ago, and now he may be making the calls. Vince Williams is sitting in his basement right now with COVID, isolated. So it's going to be a real struggle to stop the run, to cover running backs out of the backfield. So I'm hoping they're able to do something but it's going to be up to the offense. But one thing I wanted to bring note to, T.J. Watt, he can become one of the third players, maybe fourth player, to do something to get 13 sacks for 3 seasons in a row. Reggie White, Jared Allen, Chandler Jones, all these guys did it, and they can also break the record: 70 consecutive games with a sack. The defense is back. I remember a couple years ago, everybody was talking about the defense, the cornerbacks. The defense is back. We just need Ben to make the basic plays, get the running game. 70, 75 yards is all we need to get this going, but we can't have the defense on the field all game. No more 3 and outs, 3 quick passes, and they're punting the ball. The defense is back on the field. We're getting injured. We don't have a lot of the guys back. I think Buffalo's going to be able to put up a lot of points on us. So the offense is going to have to hold the ball and keep them off the field because we don't have the depth right now. We're playing with third stringers back there. A lot of things have to happen for us to win this game. So Smokin Jim, what's your thoughts on your first attempt, buddy?
Hey, Luther. First of all, I gotta apologize. I really apologize because I'm really wrong. But I'm sorry to apologize to Antonio Gibson because I compared him to Greg. Can't make the club in the tub Hawthorne, and after 1 carry, he's out for the year, just like Hawthorne. So, hey, I apologize. Hey, man, listen. When they drafted Jalen Samuels out of North Carolina State, this is a guy that played a lot of positions. He was all conference tight end. He was a tailback. He was a gunner on the special teams. He was a blocker. This is a guy that they compared to Le'Veon Bell, could do things on third down. He lost his confidence. He had COVID. He lost his confidence because the Steelers continued to draft running backs like McFarland and Snell and moved him further and further down the depth chart. I seen the Jalen Samuels that we've seen his first couple of years. I think he's a guy that can push for a starting position. Him and James Conner, listen, at the very least, he should be your third down back. Wonderlick McFarland. You know what I mean? Luther talks about that deep pass. It was on the money. All he had to do was
That
keep
was
running and
off-target.
fade it to his right a little bit. He turns all the way around, man. Hey, listen.
That's
Hey,
how bad
listen.
the pass was.
Listen, man. So you got to get somebody in there that got his head screwed on correctly and knows what he's doing, like Jalen Samuels. Hey, listen, defensively, the Bills got the only Edmonds that should be in the National Football League. Terrell Edmonds' brother Jermaine. Listen, on draft day, there was nobody on the planet that considered Terrell Edmonds a first-round draft choice. Only reason he was in New York was because his brother was a top 10 pick. He was in the bathroom when the Pittsburgh Steelers called him. He came out with toilet paper on his shoes and have been trash ever since. You know what I mean? I still say the only reason he got drafted because Coach Mike Tomlin went to the prom with his mama. But listen,
Wow.
the Pittsburgh Steelers, this Terrell Edmonds is legitimately an all-pro. Jermaine Edmonds, he's a freak of nature. His daddy was an outstanding tight end for the Miami Dolphins, and his mama was a homecoming queen. So, hey, listen, this is a guy that can really wreck your day. He's going to come correct, and the Pittsburgh Steelers got to find a way to block 6'5" all-pro linebacker Jermaine Edmonds.
Okay. All right. Real quick, as we get ready to wrap up, let's get our predictions in. Start with you, Claudio. What's your prediction on today's game?
I was right last week. I'm be right. I don't know if I'm be right this week, but I got Buffalo 31, Pittsburgh 23.
Okay. Smokin Jim?
Well, did Claudio say Buffalo's going to win?
Yeah, Buffalo
Yep.
31, Pittsburgh 23.
All right. I think Tremaine Edmonds will get a couple of interceptions. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think Buffalo, the Pittsburgh Steelers, going to chuck and duck their way up and down the field, kick some field goals. I believe this is the Buffalo Bills, like Claudio said, on the rise. 42-35, Buffalo.
Wow. Okay. All right, let's see. Is the white hand of stone still his wide receiver? Lee is ordered today. All right, we got Luke Callaway, Buffalo 28-21. What else is new? I knew he was going to pick Buffalo. Jason Hall 31-27. Buffalo Bills as well. I also have to go on the bandwagon. I think the Steelers go down this game. I'm
What?
21. Buffalo. Injuries. If it wasn't an injury game, I would definitely be with
that book, Jim. He's got that excuse book, Jim.
Hey, it is what it is. Injuries aren't excuses. Injuries are facts. These guys can't play.
Pull that book out.
31. Buffalo's going to win. But, I had this game marked early in the season as a loss. And now with all these injuries, I definitely co-sign what I had earlier. It's Jim drinking Folgers. All right. Hey, listen, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Lee, Lou, Jason Hall, Frank, all you guys for the comments. Appreciate you guys. We got the game coming up later on tonight. We may do a recap later, but keep checking us out, scsportsworld.com. For the legends, the Hall of Famers, Claudio Rosano, Smokin Jim Frazier, I'm Luther Dupree. We'll check you out next time. Everybody have a good day. Peace.